Hey everyone, Jed from Jedder's Garage here. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart, which is supercharging. What is supercharging? Supercharging is the ability to drive up, in this case, in the Tesla network, where they have a whole bunch of Tesla chargers, superchargers, and you can drive up and charge 80% of your battery in probably 30 to 35 minutes. This makes owning your electric vehicle amazing. This has been an amazing aspect of owning a Tesla for years. Now, if you don't realize what's going on, Tesla announced that they're going to be adding about 7 different brands of vehicles to the charging network. So this means Nissan, Rivian, Chevy, GMC, Ford. All of these guys are going to also be charging on that same network. What do you think's going to happen? Also, Tesla is releasing the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck's going to be amazing. What's that going to look like for all of us? There's 1.9 million Cybertrucks on order. Are we going to be able to get the Tesla supercharging network access that all of us have grown to love and appreciate? I think that there's a tsunami wave coming of vehicles that are all going to be sucking up all the power and that are going to be taking our spaces. When I say our spaces, I'm talking about Tesla owners' spaces, and it's going to make charging a little bit of a nightmare. I'm going to go to one of the charging locations where they have the different size spaces, and I'm going to show you the difference in size too for the Cybertruck versus the Silverado versus the Ford Lightning. Okay, so one of the factors that we want to talk about is the size of the vehicle. Now, maybe you've heard me talk about this, but if you're driving a truck, it's not the same as a Tesla Model 3 or a Tesla S. It's going to be a lot longer and it's going to be somewhat wider, okay? Now, some of the stats that you'll see on the width of the truck come down to, I think it's like 79 inches or something like that when you don't have mirrors. But if you've read some of the rumors, it looks like some of the states are requiring that mirrors are put on the Cybertruck. So if we're going to be talking about the length, one of the problems that I ran into with the Ford Lightning was the fact that you would try to park in a spot and you would find that it was hanging way, way far out into the charging area that you have designated for parking. Okay, here are the 3 different types of trucks, okay? First, you've got the Silverado here, you've got the Cybertruck second, and you've got the Ford Lightning. This is the length of the vehicle. So you can see from the front there how far that is to the end of the space. You know, the distance between that and the other, you've got quite a bit of overhang here. Let's talk about width of the vehicle. Okay, this is the standard size of a parking spot. And you can see this right here, okay? That's the standard size. So we've actually gotten, I took it off of one side, so you've got this much here. Here is the Cybertruck, and I estimated about 90 inches. So you can see that it goes about from that yellow line to this yellow line over here. Then secondly, we've got the Chevy Silverado, the all-electric. 94 inches wide. These are with the mirrors, by the way, okay? This is going to be a tighter spot. Now, when you look at the Ford Lightning, this is the orange line here, 96 inches wide. Okay, this is not going to, it's hardly gonna fit in 103 inches, okay? You're gonna squeak in there and it's gonna be next to your neighbor and it's gonna be really, really tight, not to mention that you're gonna be sticking way out on the back end. And this is the Cybertruck, this is the Silverado, this is all of them. They're all gonna be sticking way, way far out, having their rear ends exposed. So why does that matter? Well, the fact of the matter is that most of these spaces where they've put the superchargers are in tight locations. So it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to fit into all of the places that you need to charge your truck. Where are we gonna park the trailer if we're towing something? Maybe you're towing a boat, I don't know. Whatever it is that you're towing, you're not gonna have probably many places that you're gonna be able to park and actually charge, because here's the thing, you get a 500-mile range, which is amazing, by the way. That's the Cybertruck's stated range, is 500 miles. If you've got 500 miles, that's amazing. If you're towing something, guess what? That mileage is probably going in half. So you probably got 250 miles, probably on a good day. That's if you're not going uphill and it's not really cold. You've probably got that kind of range. Well, if you've got that kind of range, you got 250 miles, then you're gonna have to charge. Well, my guess is, some people are gonna wanna go camping. It might be more than 250 miles away, and they're gonna have to go charge. Well, you're gonna need a supercharger. Awesome, okay. We've got a supercharger. How long is it gonna take to actually detach your trailer or your boat, go park it somewhere, hopefully it's safe, you come back, you go and you charge for 30 minutes to, it's probably gonna be a lot more than that if you're talking about a Cybertruck, because you know what comes with a 500-mile range? A 500-mile battery, which means that you're gonna have to charge it for longer. That's just the way that it works. Something to consider. Does it mean it's not worth it? I'm not saying it's not worth it. It may very well be worth it. It's just one of those things that you're gonna have to consider. The other thing is, do you know how many Cybertrucks are gonna be built? Or at least how many have been ordered? There's been 1.9 million orders for the Cybertruck so far. My guess is there'll probably be more. So I'm here at the Tesla charging network and I meet Tony, who's a Vietnam vet. And thank you for your service, by the way, Tony.
Oh, appreciate it.
Hey, so we're talking a little bit about the charging network and what's going on. Can you tell me the story that you were just telling me?
Yeah, I got the car in January of 2022, and yesterday was the first time I've ever had to wait to get my car charged.
Was that kind of an advantage with owning a Tesla, was the fact that, you never have to wait for supercharging?
Yeah, there's a lot of disinformation about that, I think, because all the time I've owned this car, I've never had to wait for a charging station. You just pull up and plug in. But yesterday, I had to wait a total of 3 minutes.
3 minutes is not bad, though. That's actually really good. So you never waited. You waited 3 minutes. What do you think's going to happen when they add, they've got like 7 vehicle brands they're going to be adding to the charging network. There's currently about 4.5 million Teslas. Yours is one of those, right, that are on the road. And they're going to be adding another 1.5 million different brands are going to be added to these charging networks as of January of this next year. Do you think that that's going to affect what you're able to do? Get in and out quickly?
Yeah, it's going to be a gunfight. So, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I think there's going to be a time lapse before they start building more supercharger stations.
Well, I'm interested to see what happens, Tony, with all the charging that's added. We talked a little bit about the trucks. Are you excited? You said one of your friends has ordered a Cybertruck.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he thinks about it. And I think they make nice police cars. They're bulletproof for 9mm.
Tony, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the time, and don't forget to tune in.
All right.
All right.
You got it.
Now, Tesla created a thing called Magic Dock. If you don't know what Magic Dock is, it's an adapter that goes onto the Tesla Supercharger. It's a little end adapter, and you can actually plug it into some of the other vehicles because currently Tesla uses a different style charger. Okay, all the new vehicle builders are starting to put the Tesla style chargers into their vehicles so that will work. But in the meantime, some of the Tesla superchargers have been equipped with the thing called Magic Dock, which is the adapter. I'm gonna be surprised if if all of the major vehicle manufacturers don't join the Tesla network. It's just going to happen. I think that that's just in the cards. With all of the vehicles storming the gate, so to speak, they're all gonna be fighting for the same charging locations at the same time of day. What are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna have to be more strategic. You're gonna have to find less traveled locations. You're gonna have to go at different times. And let's just kind of say that, that still may not be everything that you need to do. They're gonna want you to really, really rely on charging at home. This creates a problem if you don't have the ability to charge at home or if you're going on a trip. Now, since the corridors for traveling are pretty much the same for all vehicles, those corridors, I think, are going to be packed. So let's just figure out, you've got a plan for what you've got coming. Here's the thing that I think that we should all be thinking about. Have you ever noticed when you go to a busy charging station and it automatically takes your Tesla down to 80% charging level? Okay, totally makes sense. Why? I don't think that actually, and maybe I'm just completely oblivious to this, but I don't think it affects your battery that bad to charge past 80%. I think the reason why they don't want us charging past 80% is mainly because of the fact that the first 80% charges lightning fast. So you're getting like 80% of your battery charged very quickly, and then that last 20% is trying to cram a lot of power into a very small amount of battery space there, and it just makes it go really slow. So like the first half, first 80%, you're probably at like, 35 minutes to fill it up, and then on the last 20%, another 35 minutes. That's pretty brutal. So what are they going to do? Well, I think that there's a possibility, and I just say this as a possibility. I don't know, if they get too busy, if you've got a charging station and every single one of those spots are taken and you've got a line going around the block, I think that there is a chance they could say, you're not gonna be able to charge past 80% at this location. And if you do, there's a chance that they could go, you know what, we'll let you charge past 80%, but there's gonna be a fee, an additional fee. So like you wanna charge to 100% because you're going on a long trip, we're gonna charge you twice the power rate. I don't know what it's gonna be, but they're gonna charge you a little bit more. That's my guess. Have I heard anything that says that? No, this is just my own prediction, what I think could possibly happen. They either won't let you charge past that, or if they do, it will probably be an extra fee. So like, look, we're at 4.5 million vehicles now. The charging networks are already starting to fill up. We're gonna have 1.45 million joining at the beginning of next year. Man, just things like the Nissan Leaf. These little guys, they're probably gonna be just packed in here. They're gonna be quick to charge, don't get me wrong, but it's just gonna be a lot of sharing. If you're a Tesla owner, do you wanna share? I didn't think so. But we're gonna have to learn to share. We're gonna have to learn to get along with everyone else. Why? Because the networks open up in 2024 and there's going to be a charging tsunami, charging nightmare. So if you've enjoyed fast charging in the Tesla network previously, just remember the good old days. Maybe you'll sit your kid down in the car and tell them all the stories about, oh, when I first got my electric car, I was able to charge in 15 to 30 minutes. There were no lines, son. That's probably what the story's gonna be like. And it's sad, I'm crying a couple of tears for the days that haven't even passed yet, because I just know that that's what we're coming up against. And when we're all sitting there, maybe I'll get to know you a little bit better. I'll be waiting for my charge too. So we can all get to know each other a little bit better. Maybe this is a social experiment. So as we mourn the loss of our free, fast supercharging, we move on to a new era. An era filled with every kind of vehicle, where superchargers do not discriminate a vehicle of any kind. And we get to wait. Where we used to be special as Tesla owners, we are now just one of the herd.